Well, it's great to talk about Sinners getting all those nominations, but we got to talk about and focus now on the category, Best Picture. Of course, a number of years ago, it used to be that the Academy Awards had 5 nominees for Best Picture. Then they changed the rules where it could have anywhere between 7 and 10, depending on how the voting goes. And then just not too long ago, they changed the rules again where 10. It has 10 nominees every year, which I personally like. I just like the fact that it allows a greater amount of films to get that recognition. I do appreciate that, but let's be honest, it's not like it's a 10-horse race.
No.
It's really a 3 or 4 movie race. But let's go down and look at the movies, the 2025 movies that have been bestowed the highest honor there is in film, a nomination for Best Picture. Those films are Begonia, F1. Thrilled to see it get one of those nominations.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As
thrilled.
I refer to it, fun.
Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, which I loathed, but like everybody else on the planet loves it, I'm alone. One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams.
It is a great list.
Rob, it feels like every year we get around October, November, and we think, I feel like this is like this every year. We think, man, was this all that good of a year for movies? And then we get into the heart of award season and all these great movies are brought back up and it's like, oh my God, this was a great year for film.
Great year for film.
Awesome year for film. And by the way, I'm just going to throw it out there. There were a couple of others that could have gotten out there. Jay Kelly was one that some people looked at as maybe being one. It was just an accident is one that maybe could have gotten one of the nominations. The one, though, that I said would get nominated, and it didn't, was Weapons. I really would have liked to have seen Weapons on this list, but I've got to say, I don't know who I bump off this list for it. I mean, I loved Weapons, but I don't know who I bump to make room for Weapons on it.
I am sometimes a snobbish, pretentious douchebag. I admit it. And I've always thought that a Best Picture should have some kind of universality. And the more you go into the genre space, the less universality, the less about... Yeah. And I think that Weapons is just too much of a genre film. I think it was groundbreaking. I think people are going to remember Weapons for years to come. But I don't think it would have been in this field, because you think about this field, there's so many wonderful films. It's not that Weapons isn't. But that's why science fiction, fantasy, and horror have had such a hard time to break into.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I kind of predicted it would get that 10th spot, and I would have liked to have seen it get that 10th spot. But at the same time, as somebody who is massively in love with Weapons, I'm not going to lose any sleep that it didn't get one of them. Because, again, the list is just so big. But
another Warner Brothers movie.
Another Warner Brothers movie. And like I see some people in the live chat saying, oh, it should have bumped F1. Fuck that. No, it shouldn't have. No, it should not have bumped F1. F1 deserves a spot on that list, and I'm glad it's there. But as we mentioned, there may be 10 nominees, but there's not 10 contenders.
No.
I think at most, realistically, I think it's 2. You could make an argument that it's a 3-horse race, and maybe if you're stretching it, it's 4. In no particular order, I think if I was going to say there are 4 films that actually stand a chance, it's One Battle After Another, it's Marty Supreme, it's Hamnet, and it's Sinners.
Yeah.
I think those are the 4 films that these are the 4 films that if they read its name out after opening the envelope, I won't fall out of my chair with shock. Like, I'm going to fall out of my chair in shock if Train Dreams gets mentioned. I'm going to fall out of my chair in shock if F1 gets mentioned as the winner, or Begonia, or Frankenstein, or whatever. But the 4 films, really, it's a 4-way race. It's One Battle After Another. It's Marty Supreme. it's Hamnet, and it's Sinners. If I had to narrow that down to 3, I would say it's One Battle After Another, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. Hamnet's got a shot, but I would say it's the most outside shot of the 4. And then I would say if it was between 2 of them, see, my vote would be Sinners, but I think if it's actually down between 2 of them, I think it's Marty Supreme and it's One Battle After Another.
I completely agree with you.
And then I'd have to say if I had to pick who I think is actually going to win, it's down to 1. It's going to be One Battle After Another.
Yeah.
And you know what? Again, my pick is Sinners, but One Battle After Another is so good that I have no complaints. And anyway, Rob, who do you see as our contenders? Who actually has a shot here and why?
Well, I completely agree with everything you said. I totally agree with you. And look, it comes down to the fact that, again, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of our great filmmakers. He's been making great movies since Sydney, his movie Sydney, or AKA Hard 8. And I think it's his year. You know, I mean, I don't know why, but the internet, my feeds have been flooded with reels from There Will Be Blood. Oh. And I just keep watching.
That movie's
That
so
is the
good.
greatest performance. But every time Daniel Day-Lewis opens his mouth, I'm like, that doesn't even seem real.
Well, you know my contention. My contention is Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. And I made this wholeheartedly as personal opinion, but I believe that is the single greatest performance ever given on film.
It might very well be, because every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, how did he even create that voice?
And it was under the direction
of Paul Thomas and writing
Anderson.
and direction.
Yep.
So, and you know, I think what's really interesting about, and that's why, like you said, One Battle After Another, it's not about the film's politics, because a lot of people who criticize that movie want to talk about its politics. It's loosely based on Thomas Pynchon's novel Vineland. So that all of it came from a very organic place. And it's not, remember, it takes a long time to write and direct a movie. Like, this movie didn't just get made for this political climate. It just happens to have a lot to say that a lot of people get pissed off by. But I think this film has that thing. It's got that universality. It's got satire, and it's got craziness, and and the performances in the film, all of them. I mean, maybe not There Will Be Blood, but everybody is good in it. Benicio del Toro is great in it. I mean, Sean Penn is off the rails.
He's
man.
my pick to win Best Supporting Actor.
Unbelievable.
He was so good in this.
So good in it. And so you look at this, you're looking at, it might not be your cup of tea, but you can't not recognize the greatness. But then all of the same is true of Hamnet, the performances. I mean, Jessie Buckley, and that the devastation of that, and the way Chloe Zhao approaches the material. Again,
dude, I was
incredible,
haunted by that movie days after watching
Unbelievable.
Like, I was haunted by it. It's so good.
It's unbelievable. And the thing is, I always ask people to, like, there's a difference between what you love and recognizing the greatness of art. It might not be the art you love, but you got to, an astute viewer can recognize, maybe it's not my thing, but I recognize that this is brilliantly done. And I think that we've all those, look, I loved Train Dreams. I had no idea what I was going to watch. I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I'm watching this. I'm like, what is this?
It was, not to sound cheesy, but it literally was haunting.
It was. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, because I've been in those forests. But all of the movies here are strong. But these 4, like you said, they're just great accomplishments all around. It's what you want from cinema. So, and like people take, well, I take F1 off the list. Well, I wouldn't, because we've seen car movies. You know, you look at Le Mans, you look at Ford v Ferrari, you go back and look at Grand Prix back in the day. F1 was a rousing Jerry Bruckheimer studio entertainment driven by movie stars that was filmed impeccably well. That's wildly entertaining. And that's not easy to do. You know, so even that, I'm looking at all this stuff, dude.
So let's boil it down to this then.
But I got to say those 4.
Those 4. Yeah. So we're in agreement on the 4.
100%.
What about narrowing it down to the 3? We say agreement with that Hamnet's probably on the outside looking in.
I think it is. I think you're looking at One Battle After Another and Marty Supreme.
Yeah, I agree.
You are, because,
and it's probably, well, actually, that brings me to the question then. the two questions for you, Rob. Now that it's all said and done, the nominees are out. Who is going to win, and who's your, if you were a voting member of the Academy, who would you be casting your ballot for? So who would you vote for, but ultimately reading the tea leaves, who's going to win?
I would vote for One Battle After Another. And I think One Battle After Another is going to win. And I think that's only because at the end of the day, you know, Marty Supreme deals with some unpleasant realities about human beings in an unpleasant way. Whereas One Battle After Another has an element of satire in it. And I think that One Battle After Another it's a little bit more sprawling. But Marty Supreme is an astonishing filmmaking achievement. I mean, it really is. And the central performance, amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think One Battle After Another, I think it's pretty clear is going to win. My vote would be for Sinners. But there you have. By the way, I just had a thought. Make this movie. Somebody make this movie. You make a road trip movie with Sean Penn and Delroy Lindo as two adopted sons of the same parents. with a weird relationship. Oh, I'd watch the hell out of that.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy that Delroy Lindo got a nom. I've loved him for years.
Yeah, good for him. All right. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about the nominee list? And if I put the same question to you, who would you vote for to win Best Picture? But then put that aside, and who do you actually think is going to win? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.